Blog Talk Radio.
Hello and welcome to the Michael Calderin Show. We're so glad you could join us this Thursday afternoon. It's 2 o'clock here on the Eastern Time Zone in the United States, and we're so glad that you could tune in with us. We have had quite an exciting few days since the last show, and we're excited about today's guest, who's going to be connecting live with us from Israel. That's right, from Israel. So we're real excited about that. Do want to give a few shout-outs. I want to give a shout-out to Stephanie and Diana over here in our building. They're always a welcoming smile to anyone walking through the doors. So it's a pleasure to see them every day. So thank you guys. Really appreciate you always having a smile and always being so willing to help out. Also want to give a shout out to Danielle Morgan. If you haven't had an opportunity to check out her music, go to daniellemorganmusic.com and you'll definitely be very pleased. You can connect with her on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and you can download her music from iTunes and Spotify. If we have time at the end of the show, we're going to play something by Danielle Morgan and John Merrigan. She is quite the sensation based in the UK. They listen to the show and they're supporters of the show, so we always thank them as well. And also want to give a shout-out to Adele Nazarian, who's a well-known journalist and has become a friend and supporter of the show. We really appreciate everything she does, and also for assisting us with today's guest. And I'm so excited to tell you about today's guest, Aryeh Lev. And Aryeh, who's known as the human X-ray, discovered a breakthrough therapy stemming from the subconscious that has changed countless lives. She's been able to transform countless lives by seeing into the depths of their minds and helping them unlock the blocks that prevent them from reaching their true potential. She's worked with and helped tens of thousands of people, celebrities, politicians, business people, and established a method that reads the subconscious and identifies the source of blockage they have, which prevents them from living life to their fullest potential and capacity. Through her groundbreaking method, she's identified 28 unique codes which activate the brain and control our choices. Okay? So you definitely want to listen. Through her best-selling, amazing book, The Truth, The Deepest Secrets of the Subconscious, Aryeh Lev explains how she discovered the unconscious codes that block us and how we can release them to achieve inner peace and the fulfillment of our goals. So if you go to the show page, we have a couple of links that you can watch. You can search her on YouTube, search on the web as well. Listen to some of the testimonials. So we're going to be connecting her now from
Hello.
Israel. Aryeh, how are you?
Great, how are you? Good evening, good morning to you.
Yes.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you fine. Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem. Erev Tov, good evening. Yes, I'm with you.
Yes, and thank you so much, Toda Rabbah, for being with us here on the show.
Yes. Do you know this is a very important day today?
Yes. Tell us.
Yes, this is the Independent Day of Israel, 70 years of independence. So, it's an exciting day, and I'm excited for that, and exciting to be with you also.
Wonderful, and congratulations, and all the celebratory remarks for Israel as well, celebrating their independence.
Yes.
A wonderful time.
Wonderful.
Yes. So Aryeh, I've heard some wonderful things about you, and I'm so grateful that you've accepted to come on the show. And I had an opportunity to read your book over the past 2 days in preparation for the show, and I really enjoyed it. So there's a couple of sections I want to talk about. But first, I want to talk about your background, because you have quite a background yourself. So I'd like to talk about the earlier days of Aryaan, leading up to the breakthrough method.
Yes, it was, I think, something like 17 years ago, something like that, I reached the point that I decided to research and look for the answers about life, about what controls our life, our decision, the reality. And before of that, I myself was struggling inside myself with a gap between myself. I think that you read about it in the book. You're talking about that.
Yes. Yes.
The first chapter.
Absolutely. Yes.
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 Because all my life I had some ambivalent point that in one hand I was very successful, beautiful woman with good things that I have done in my life, like officer in the army and a lot of things like that, and very good student in university, in high school. Everything was excellent outside, but inside I felt like I'm nothing. I felt insecure. I had a lot of fears, and to live with two kind of different personality characters inside one person, it was very hard, and I was struggling actually. And from this point of view, I wanted to find the answers, because I didn't understand how come on the one hand I can be so hard and so good and tough and the success woman, and on the other hand I am so weak, so frightened, so I was so weak, so frightened, and so insecure, and I needed to find the answers. So in that point I decided to read, to look for answers, and I actually started my research in that point.
Yeah, and there's and that's why in your book you say one woman, two voices, talking about the different perspectives. And there's a saying that when the pain of where you are is greater than the fear of where you're going, you'll get up and go. So I can only imagine for you, the pain was so great that this was the motivating force for you to make a change.
Absolutely. I needed for answers, because I was in a point that I was confused. I was, in one hand, I was a very powerful woman. I was a director, officer, a very successful student in the university. And the other hand, in myself, what is related to the relationship with myself and with men and with, friends, I was so insecure. So I couldn't understand what happened here. How come I found myself in some areas in a strong woman, and other area I found myself as a weak. So all that stuff really confused me. And I reached to a point that I said to myself, I could not continue like that. I should have an answers. And I started to read books, to go to seminars, and to do a lot of things. And I initiated the research. I started the research, and the aim of the research is to understand what control us. What is the power that controls the brain and give instruction to the brain what to do and how to do? And I wanted to know why in some areas I found myself so strong and others so weak. So how can I change it? And all those questions got me to the point that I started the research and initiated this method, actually, and these beautiful founds that I found that changed human being lives. And this is so excited. You don't imagine how much.
Yes. No, and I've seen all the videos with the testimonials. I've seen the interviews. I've seen the interview with Adele Nazarian, who I have a great deal of respect and admiration for. I've seen, a lot of your earlier work, and I know that at that point, and I can see your life in the lives of many people that I've counseled over the years. And I'm talking very successful people that also had two voices because, on the outside, they were very strong and confident and, either modeling or acting, on stage, doing public speaking. But then in the depths of their home, they were miserable and they felt a void inside of them and they felt alone. And, and that's always been a struggle for many people, particularly those that, elected officials and leaders who, always have to have a strong presence and appearance to the public, but inside they're struggling. And I've seen that with a lot of models where they were struggling with eating disorders, bulimia, anorexia, and substance abuse, and I know you talk about that in your book as well. You were born where?
Yeah, that's true.
You were born where? Where were you born?
Where? I think you say something else, okay? Okay. I was born in Israel, in a city that her name is Haifa. Haifa is a port city.
Oh, yes,
very
of course.
Beautiful port city on the north. Yes. And they are born to a beautiful family. Father is a lawyer. Mother is working with him, and he's a politician also. And everything was fine. But and my family were very traditional and conservative. But I thought you asked me, you born rare, because I born with a unique talent, as you know.
Yes.
That this unique helped me to initiate the research and to initiate all the method.
Yeah, let's talk about that talent.
Yeah, this I was born with the ability that it calls in Israel I have a nickname that is called X-ray, the ability to see people from the inside. And to reach to the inner self, it's like a very strong intuition. And now the science knows that there is something like a spiritual intelligence. So it's actually part of spiritual intelligence. It's cells in the right part of the brain that they are activate more. And it gives me the ability to see people and to see there from the inside, to see what they think, what they think, what they believe, what happened in their inside. And that ability that become very famous in Israel and actually around the world also. People reached to me and wanted me to help them. And then to assist them with a lot of problems, not just emotional problems, issues with work, issues with relationships, a lot of dilemmas. And because of that ability, I could pinpoint the exact occasion, exact belief, exact occasion that happened in the childhood, which affects them now. So this ability helps me to start understand what's going on in a human being brain and mind. And from that point, I saw that there is something inside of the person that actually controlled him. Okay, people are controlled with a certain force. And then I was curious to know what is this force that controls the brain, that controls the people. And I decided, now that I'm 42 and it happened when I was 28, I just say, wow, I was so brave. I decided to open a clinic, to open a center. The name of the center was and still the Aryaan Life Center, Free Programming the Subconscious. And I initiate research and I hired people that works in the brain science, and a lot of people that I wanted to know and understand what's going on in the deepest being of the person. And then I got these beautiful results that is written in the book about this conditioning. Actually, those conditioning that I found, they are control the brain, and because they are control the brain, they control what's going on in our life. And after I healed and worked with thousands, more than 10,000 people, I know that we can change our life and make the change. And I made the change by myself. I was undergo the treatment with. Well, I have a school in Israel. We have a school and we have a clinics. And in the school, I teach people how to be therapists by my method. And I was one of the therapists actually healed me, released me from my blocks. Yes, so I can be free also, not just to teach people.
Well,
yes, and it's
and you know
things.
we teach others what we need to learn. So I think it's appropriate that your method helped you.
Yes. But, we teach people all the time. Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
I said we teach people all the time. The part of the relationship of human being is to learn and to teach. We teach friends and learn from friends. We teach all the time. And this research is more than teaching. It actually was a research. It's something, it's a method, is a pattern, is a way. There is a way how you can work with people, release them from a conditioning that is located in the cells near the DNA, influence the DNA, and to change their life. People must know that people always have a dream. A lot of people have a dream to feel free, to lose weight, to have a lot of money, or to be healthy. Each person have a dream, and the dream can be fulfilled. The dreams can be fulfilled, and it's very simple to do it. It just the blocks in ourselves, in the subconscious, prevents us from live the life that we want to, not to suffer, not to be in pain, not to be in fear. And I'm very delighted and happy that I got this research and these founds that I can assist people. And my mission is to do it to all over the world.
Yes. And what do you think was the pivotal moment for you when the light bulb went on and you said, there's something to this?
Yes, it was when I had the results of the research, and we start to work with people, and I could see in my eyes and hear in my ears how people change. How woman that was taking my hand and begging to me, I want to become married. I want to find the one. I'm finding always the men that don't want me, that abuse me. I want to find somebody to get married, and I don't find, and I'm afraid that I will not be married in my life. And to see her releasing the walls, releasing the blocks, and becoming secure, becoming happy, becoming feminine, and find the man in 2-3 weeks since she finished the treatments and happy. This gave me the aha. I found it. To see somebody that's suffering from cancer, to see somebody that is blind, you know, to see somebody that's living in a way of struggling all the time, to struggle for money, to struggle for appreciation, and to see them stop doing that and starting to live life full of happiness, fulfillment, and joy, and to see this magic happen makes me feel like they say it, and make me feel like I must deliver it to all the people all over the world, because it shouldn't be a secret. It must be known that we are blocked from the inside, and where we are, release the blocks, we can live the beautiful life that we desire, that we want to live.
That's wonderful. And
yes.
Do you consider yourself a religious person or a person of faith?
Oh, it's a beautiful question, you know. Really, it is. I'm not religious. I'm not religious. I like to be free from religious, but I believe. I believe because I know that there is something spirituality. I believe in spirit and spirituality, and I know that there is a power, and we are not here by chance. Each of the person has his own purpose, and we are gathered together to make a change in the world and to make the world better. That I know, and I see miracles. I see things. So I cannot not believe in the power of the universe. You can name it universe. You can name it God. You can name it the spirit, the spirit wind. You can the holy. How do you say it? You can name it as you wish. But the truth in my point of view is there is a power. There is a spirit. There is a power that leads us. Yes, that's what I believe.
Yes, because as you know, like in Judaism, when things are meant to be, right? There's a saying, it's b'sheret, right? It's meant to be.
But I've studied in the.
Go ahead.
Yes. No, I'm because sometimes I don't hear you. I studied in the university Middle East science and about the Islam and Islam religion, the religion of the Islam, the Quran. And when you study about the Quran and you studied about the New Testimony and about Jesus and you study about the Judaism, you see that all the faith and all the belief, they are the same. And all the faith want the same. And I believe that the source is the same, and we just, because of the ego and because of the pain and because of the conditioning of the subconscious, we forgot that we are the same. And actually there is one power that integrates all of us.
That integrates all of us?
That one power that we are, all of us, all the people are the same. It doesn't matter which religion we are, which color we are, which gender.
Yeah, and there's only one God. There's not multiple gods. There's one God. So, if you're Muslim and you call him Allah, and you're Jewish and you say Hashem, or another term, or we all come to faith through a very similar journey and a very similar path, and the Holy Spirit makes that work through the universe where things connect the way they're supposed to connect. Like your message, the message you have, which is a phenomenal, powerful, impactful message you have, it's come to a point where now is the time for that message to be sent out to people. Now is the time. This is the time. And the universe is responding to that and setting it up and making things happen. Let's talk about go ahead.
I think that is true for everyone. That is true for everyone because I know and I believe that the universe loves us and supports us. And the issue that we have is not with the universe. The issue that we have is with ourselves. Because the research shows that in ourselves, in our genes, we are actually blocked. And we are not always blocked, not all blocked, but there are some blocks in the subconscious that are located in the cells, in the genes, in the DNA. Actually, there inside, we are, by heritage, block ourselves. We actually block ourselves. We prevent from ourselves the freedom, the journey, the happiness that the universe wants to give us. And this is the issue. The issue is that we should release ourselves. We should unlock the blocks. And when we do it,
yes. You know what I was going to say. Yeah, go ahead. When you do it.
When we do it, we can see the miracle happen. Yeah, we can see how much the universe loves us.
Yes, absolutely. And the other thing about that is because of our own psychological defense mechanisms, they work against us. They protect us from pain, and they protect us from a lot of things, but they also sometimes work against us because, you know, if God forbid you're in an accident and you hurt yourself, your brain sends the message, we have to go to the hospital, we have to get checked out, you know. But when the brain is sick, the brain cannot tell on itself. The brain cannot transmit a message to itself that it's sick. You know, it's like the eye. The naked eye can see very far. And on a clear day, the naked eye can see maybe 2 or 3 miles out into the horizon. But with all that the eye can see, the eye cannot see itself.
That is true, but that is the beautiful thing that the reality brings us mirrors.
Yes.
The relationship that we have shows us where we are. The relationships show us where we are. If you see that we are always struggling for money, struggling to be in relationship, struggling for diet, if we're always struggling, so there is something that makes us to struggle. So we have block inside us that tells us we cannot live our life without struggle. Everything must be with hard work. So we should release the block that activate the mind and the brain to struggle each time and change it, and then we can reach things that we want in the easier way. And by the way, we look in our relationships, the things that we create in the reality, we can see the truth about our inner self and about the subconscious.
Yes.
The reality shows us the truth.
Yes. And would you say that our perception of things is a big part of the message that we give to ourselves?
Yes. Yes.
You know, because
of course,
you know, you have a group of people and they all go through the same situation, yet some of them will be fine, some of them will be depressed, some of them will be angry. Why is it that people going through the same situation will have a different experience?
It's because each of them is programmed in another way. We have to know and imagine that in each of us we have our own programming. It's like a library. Each of us has his unique library of his own that comes from his childhood and comes from heritage from the parents and the grandfather, grandmother, and all that stuff. And the library that sits inside of us controls the brain, and the brain controls the eyes and the ears. And we see and hear the things that we are programmed to. And if we have a conditioning, as I wrote in the book, I can give you an example, yes? There is a condition that says life equals danger.
Yes.
Okay? Life equals danger. What does it mean? It means that everything that is its life, even to breathe, even to do things, to go out for a trip, and even to go and to do things, to live, it means it's a danger. So people who activate from this conditioning will be very afraid. A lot of people that suffering from frighting and fears are suffering because of this conditioning. They will live in fear, the fear to live, the fear to do new things, the fear to leave their comfort zone. They always will stick to the comfort zone. So people that will activate from this, the people that are activate from this conditioning, they will find themselves, if there's something happened, so all the time they will say, oh, it's dangerous. Be careful.
Yes.
Don't do that. Oh, it's dangerous to do that. Okay? So one person can have a brave to go and to initiate new things and to do things and to continue in life, and other person will stuck to the same position and to be in the comfort zone and be afraid to move because he is activate from this conditioning that located in the depths of the subconscious, and this conditioning can come, even this conditioning can be not his experience. It can be experience of his grandmother that she giving it by heritage to him. And this conditioning actually activates his brain, and he can feel and think that is blocked, and the universe not support him, and everything that happens to him it's a danger. But the truth is, it's not that the universe doesn't support him. It's he believe and act in the way that he doesn't believe in nothing because of his fears. And when we come in the method, and when people come to us and come to the therapy, and we are in special conversation, in a special way, in a special technique, we are getting into the depths of their subconscious and see in the exact moment that the subconscious engraved this conditioning and change it from the exact moment. It can be even in the mother womb. It can be even in the father, because it can be even in the father thinking and thought before the child was embryo in the womb. So we find the exact moment, and then we change it. We change the conditioning from life equals danger to life equals safe and secure. And this change of one word in the conditioning change all the function, all the way the body react, the brain react, and that person was suffering from fears, anxieties, and he cannot move, find himself without fears, without anxieties, and suddenly he sees and react to the world differently. And he can say, okay, things change. No, things not change. You changed.
Right.
Because you changed them. Yeah. They say, oh, now it's good times. It's not now good times. It's always good times.
Yes.
You were blocked.
Right. Now, are you familiar? Are you familiar at all with Albert Ellis?
Albert Ellis?
Yeah, Albert Ellis was a psychologist who founded rational emotive therapy. Dr. Albert Ellis here in the United States, actually out of New York City, and part of his theory and theoretical orientation is that it's not a particular incident or situation that causes your emotion, but it is your perception of the incident. And your method is taking it deeper. It's taking it a step further, because it's not only working on changing the perception, but it's also working on actually reprogramming what is already inside, reprogramming the subconscious.
Beautifully described.
Does that make sense?
Accurate. It's accurate, 100%. That is
okay,
true.
Good.
The perception is the next step. You got the perception when it's based on something. Something make
Correct.
you to get this prospection.
Right.
And what make you to do it? What makes you to do the things? It's the deeper meaning of the subconscious. It's the DNA.
Yes.
And the DNA, and this is the roots. This method is actually dealing with the roots, the source.
Yes, and that's the thing that, Albert Ellis kind of stopped with changing the perception, but the reality is if you're going to change the perception, you have to go into the unconscious.
Yeah.
You have to change. You have to change that. Otherwise, you're not going to change the perception.
Absolutely, and you can feel. Sometimes you can change the perception, but you will change it in one area. But in another area, you see that you're stuck in the same beliefs. Why?
Yes.
Because the source isn't changed. You should change
Correct.
the source. When you search and you touch the roots, so everything changes. The walls are destroyed immediately. And you see the changes in all aspects in life. You can see, okay, maybe I have a perception that life is frightened. Okay? So I will change it. But if you are activate from the conditioning, life equals danger. It can be not just in the perception of life and the fears. It can be in other things also, in a relationship. Okay, you can feel that the relationship are a danger and be afraid to be in a relationship. It can be even if in your body, in diseases. We saw in the researches that there are diseases that they are especially come from these conditionings, like diseases that are in the kidneys. Okay, a lot of diseases we can see that are coming from this. So you can
I saw that
perception.
Tumors and other types of illnesses. Yes.
Yeah. So it depends what you want to achieve in life.
Yes.
If you want to, Mm-hmm.
I know that some of the principles that your method uses are based on biblical principles and principles from the Kabbalah. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, I started and initiated the research by myself. And when I want to understand more, I opened the Kabbalah, very, very old books of the Kabbalah that it's written in very, very hard Hebrew, and even not Hebrew, before Hebrew. And I read and start to understand the deeper secrets of the Kabbalah and understand how the body related to the subconscious and how it's influence each other. And actually it helps me a lot to understand and to get to the answers. Yes.
Yes, and there's been a lot of work, done by various people regarding the emotional impact and the impact of thoughts on the physical well-being of people. Louise Hay, Wayne Dyer, they all talked about that. How our thoughts affect us physically and emotionally. How you talk to yourself.
Yeah, but that is true. The thoughts and them affect us, affect our emotion, affect our perspective, affect everything. But there is something that affects the thoughts, because Louise Hay and others says very beautiful things, but there are thoughts that there are conscience, that you can recognize the thought and say, okay, this is. But there are thoughts that they are unconscious. You can think thought that you are even not aware of them. They come, they come like a whisper, and you cannot control it. So what controls the thought? What controls the thinking? What controls the ideas, the wishes? There's some force that controls it, and the subconscious is controls the thinking and the thought. When you reach to the subconscious, you reach to the depths, meaning of your awareness. You can find things that influence you when you were a little child, age 2, or even a fetus, or even a baby. That things that you decided then can influence you today, even you are 77, and you cannot control it because it controls the brain. It controls the right and the left side of the brain, so you cannot control it, and it comes automatically. So the issue is that it's very hard to change the thoughts and the thinking all the time. It's huge work, and it's hard to do it because the subconscious controls. And if you want to release yourself and to make it easier, the only way to do it is to see. First of all, is to be honest with yourself, and not to blame the universe, the husband, the boss. Be honest with yourself and understand that what's happened to me, it's not because of the people or luck. It's because of my systems, beliefs, and conditioning of the subconscious, that in the subconscious. So if I understand that everything that's happened to me is because of me, this is the first step to change. The other step is
very well said.
The other step is to understand the 28 conditioning and to see which condition it actually affect us. And you can see it in the relationship. Look at your relationship and see if there is something there that is repeated in self all the time. All the time you come to relationship, you are feeling love and in love, and then the other part is leaving you.
Yes.
Or you are become born very fast and you leave. And it's happened often, all the time. What does it mean? That all the men or all the women are not good? It means that in the subconscious, there's something that creates this reality and makes me react in the same way. And for example, this conditioning that we see that people leave us when we are in love, it calls love equals abandonment.
Yes.
The brain is a conduct that when you feel love, you should leave it because it's danger. So when we look in the relationship and we look what's happened in our life and we are sincere and we are honest and we can write. We can write. That's one of the tips that I can give to our audience. You should look in your life and first of all understand that you are the one who is responsible for your life, nobody else. And then see what's going on. And when you see that it's something that's stuck, that it's always repeat itself, always, 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 so you know that there is a block there in the subconscious. And then you should identify which block is it and change it. Change it. This is the most important thing.
I tell people all the time, that we all have lessons in life that we're supposed to learn. And until you learn that lesson, the lesson is going to keep repeating itself.
Yeah, true.
Right? Because
it's true.
You have to learn the lesson and then you have to change the behavior. What I like about the Aryeh Lev method is that we're not only, identifying the problem, we're not only changing and affecting change, but we're also looking at the root cause of the problem, which is the unconscious and the messages that were wired. It's really completing everything.
That's true. That's correct, because there's things that are not that we cannot do it by behaving. The things that actually that we are getting from our parents, from generation, and they are actually controls us. And sometimes those things makes the barrier. And yes, this method know how to reach to the depths of the subconscious, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful to combine all the methods, all the theories together.
Yes.
Yes,
and
it's
and
very
I think
important. Yes.
Yeah, and to me, a significant piece is that you're not only, preaching this, but you're practicing it. You're practicing what you preach.
Absolutely.
You have lived the Aryaan Lev method.
Absolutely, and I will tell you the truth, the way. When I started to initiate the research, and I worked with thousands of people, I healed the people, but I didn't make the treatment on myself. To have the treatment is to be reprogrammed. I should go to a therapy, and the therapy lead me to the depths of my well-being, of my conscious. I cannot do it by myself. I need somebody that is specific in this area, that learned the Aryaan Lev method of reprogramming the subconscious, and he knows how to do it. And I taught people, and I healed people and worked with people, but I didn't go to a therapy to do the treatment by myself. And 4 years ago, I did it. And I said to myself, people say to me, thank you very much for helping us. Thank you very much for writing this method. You have changed our life. Thank you. But I still had the gap inside myself, because everybody thought that I am a guru. And everybody thought that I can, and know that I can read people, read their mind, and help them. But I didn't help to myself. So still I was struggling. And then I said to myself, okay, Aryaan, you don't want to be somebody that help people, but you are stay ahead, stay back.
Yes.
So I came to one of my therapists, and I asked her and told her that I wanted to make the treatment to me. Actually, I worked with 3 therapists that helped me, and it was beautiful to see that they were so huge personality, because they can contain the 2 sides that I had. They in the one hand they contain that I am their teacher, the professor. I am the one who teach, who explain, who wrote this method. And the other way, they could see me crying like a little baby and suffering. And it wasn't easy journey. No, it wasn't.
Yes.
It's to touch all the fear that you ever have. All the fear that you're trying to run away from, it's to touch those fear. And it's hurt. But the freedom that you reach after you finish this treatment, the ability to enjoy life, the ability to be secure, the ability to receive love, and to be able to contain it. It's fantastic. It's something that I can describe by saying, just have to feel it. And this actually saved my life. It's not something that it's not something you can practice. You should understand that if something is not going good in your life, it's not going well in your life, this means that it's a block in the subconscious. Go and release it. When you release it, you find the ability to live this life and to live it happy in a happy way. I have to say that, as I told you, I started the first 10 years as a therapy. After that, I continued to be a teacher, and now I have teachers. I have a franchise in Israel, a organization, and now I'm more writing and going and making lectures around the world. And when I was working with people, I saw old people that are 80, 75, 70s, and I saw them still struggling and still talking like teenager, like a child.
Yes.
And I said to myself, yes, in the same way. there's no difference between somebody in the age 7 to somebody in the age 80, and it doesn't matter if it's the president of the United States or a simple man who works. Okay, the same. They are motivated and activate from the inner child. And I said to myself, what a waste of life. We live just once. Let's enjoy. Let us love.
Right.
Let us have the abundance
Absolutely.
that we want. Why we have why we have to waste the time of hate, fight? It's wasting time. Or war. And I think I have the answer. So, yes. So I believe that it should be delivered in any way that can give the people they understand that they can change themselves and feel free.
Right. Right. And earlier in your life, you had been married, and then you decided to divorce.
Yes.
And that, from what I've picked up from the book, I would say that was a very painful time for you. What
yes.
would you say was the motivating force for you at that time to make that change?
The motivated force for me was that I understood that I live in a lie, that my life is a lie, and I want to change. I want to be free. I understood that. I thought that I married with a doctor, dentist, and he was and still a very beautiful, charming man. All the girls wanted him, and I married him. And I was living with him very hurtful and painful life. He was abusing me, and I felt very weak next to him. And so for the outside, we were a beautiful couple. All the girls were jealous of me. But inside the home, I was abused. And I was abused, and I whenever I'm coming back home and see the sign on the door written there, here living with joy, my name and his name, and I opened the door and I said to myself, but there is no joy. There's no joy. I'm in prison. And when we had an accident, and an occasion, I wrote about this in the book, and I looked at my little son. He was 8 months old then. Today is 17, and I saw him seeing my ex-husband, his father, abusing me and humiliate me. And I told myself that I choose to break this relationship, to divorce, to show him that there's no way to live, that we should live in freedom and we should be happy. And I knew, I looked at his eyes, his blue eyes, and I knew that I destroy his family, that he would never, ever have father and mother together. But I said to myself, I choose to teach I chose more to teach my son to live in freedom, in secure, in happiness, and not to give up for freedom for any case. And that is the reason. That's what makes me to go and to be divorced. And it was very hard for me because my husband, who was the one that earned the money, I didn't earn money in that time. And I knew that I would not get nothing, and I didn't get nothing. I didn't get anything. I left the house like that, and I had a lot of satisfaction inside, a lot of belief, because I knew I did the right move. And now, 17 years after that, I can see that I was right.
And that you made a good decision.
Of course.
Yeah.
And this is the thing that I want to show to everybody. Go with your heart. Where you don't feel that is good for you, don't be there. Follow your heart. Follow your emotion. Follow your spirit.
Yes. And in your book, you reference a gentleman by the name of Guy, who had encouraged you to seek therapy at your own center.
Yeah.
And how did things turn out with Guy?
Actually, we are not together today. I have a new boyfriend, not a new, not him. And but you know, each of the person that comes to our life has his own mission.
Yes,
his own present to give us. And one of the presents that he gave me is he encouraged me to go and do the treatment. He had the treatment. He was making the treatment, and I saw him how he's developed and how he's getting better, and he got better, and I stayed in the same position, and I was crying, and he told me go and make the therapy, but I was shy because you know, the people that make the therapy, they are the therapists that I acquired. So how come I, the teacher, will go to my students? I was very shy, and I felt embarrassed.
Sure.
So that is the reason that I needed his support, and he supported me then, and I made the treatment. And then we saw that each of us has to go to his own way, and we separated, and we're still good friends today. And
that was going to be my next question, whether or not you and Guy were still in contact with each other.
We are in contact.
Oh, good.
Yes. He's supporting me, and me also supporting him. But you know, sometimes, and I wrote it in the book also, I think in chapter 4, sometimes people coming to our life to stay for good and to develop together. And sometimes people come to a special task, a special deliver a special thing to do together, and then separate. And the separation should be with a nice feeling, not with a feeling of hate and abundance and all that stuff. But when you're free, you can release people easier, and they continue with your life.
Absolutely. And that's a great, that's a great way to sum it up, because, each of us has had different people in our lives that have impacted our lives and helped us to change and grow. And some people have been with us a long time, and, other people, maybe, we were friends with them for 2 years, 3 years, and maybe we don't talk to them anymore, or we've just lost contact with them. But each of those people make an impact in our heart and our minds, and we have to appreciate each one of those relationships, because each one of them, creates an impact for us.
Yes. I'm working with a lot of single women and single men that want relationships so much, and they cry and say, okay, I'm so unhappy that I met that guy. Why should I meet that guy? I should meet the one and the only, the one.
Yes.
So I told them, you met this guy because with this guy you learn something, and you should learn this piece of thing, because all the pieces together will help you to get and to attract the one and the only.
Yes.
And sometimes there's not the one. Sometimes there are the ones, the few that come to our life. And the life is beautiful. Right. And if you are not struggling from ego and pains and conditionings, we can see it more easier and enjoy.
Yes, indeed. And if folks want to start this journey for themselves, what is the best way for them to get started?
The best way is to write in Facebook Aryaan live in English, and then to go to the message there and to write a message, and our international department will come back to them. We have treatment here in English and in French also.
Okay.
So there are therapists that work from Israel, and they work through the Skype and the WhatsApp, and we reach a beautiful results in this way also. And of
Wonderful.
course, we want, and the next step is to open a franchise in the United States. So if somebody that has the guts and feeling himself, so can write also and be the first one to do it. Yeah, let's do it. Let's release all the people. Let's do it.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Also, I want to give out your website. So for the listeners that want to go to her website, you can go to www.arianlev.com. The page will open up in Hebrew, but you should get a translate button, and in the right corner of the website, you can click on the American flag, and that'll translate it into English for you so that you'll be redirected to the English site of arianlev.com. And make sure you connect with her on her official Facebook page as well. I want to thank you so much for coming on the show, Ariane. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much for getting me.
Thank you. This is the hour went by very fast, I have to say.
Yeah. Yes, it went very fast. Thank you very much for getting me. It was a very pleasure to be there, to be here.
Thank you. And all that means is that because it went so fast, you have to come back on the show another time, and we can work on that. And if folks want to get your book, how can they get your book?
They can get it in Amazon, to write the truth, the deepest secret of the subconscious, or to write Arian Lev, and to reach to the page of the truth, and to order it from the Amazon. And the most important things, they want to be with touch with us, it's through the Facebook, is the best, Arian Lev, and to write in the messages.
Wonderful. And also I want to mention on her website, arianlev.com, there are online courses, there's videos, there's articles, testimonials, courses, pretty much all the information that you need. We'll make sure that we have the audio clip of this show sent as well so that you have it, Ariane, for your use.
Great.
Any closing comments or remarks you'd like to make before we end?
The very important thing that I want to say is to each of the person that now is listening to me and listening to us, to know that everything can be changed. All the pain that they have can be removed. All the suffering that they have can be changed. Nothing is not here because that's life. Life is beautiful, and everything is coming from the inside. And when you reach and heal the inside, your life is become beautiful, and they are.
Yes.
This is the.
Yes, and this is. Yeah, and this is the. And thank you for that. And I want to say that this is an opportunity for everyone listening. This is an opportunity to really affect change in your life. What are the subconscious messages that have been coming out of your mind? Now is the time. This is the perfect opportunity for you to explore that and for you to really affect change in your life. And, as we end the show, again, I want to thank Adele Nazarian for really helping to make this happen. And
thank you, Adele.
And again, I want and I want to thank you, Ariane, for agreeing to come on. And as we end, I'm going to play a song by Danielle Morgan, and this song is entitled "No Trace of You." And for the listeners, they've heard Danielle Morgan on this show. She's come on the show. She was on last year. And if you look at the YouTube video, No Trace of You, this is all about change and not having any trace of the old you. This is all about the new you. So, Ariane, once again, thank you so much. Toda Rabah and Laila Tov to you.
You're welcome. Laila Tov.
I know that
bye-bye.
It's 9 o'clock in Israel right now, 9 p.m., right?
10 p.m.
Oh, 10 p.m.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, 10
yes.
p.m. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's 10 p.m. in Israel, so it is bedtime for some folks. So Ariane, thank you once again, and have a great night. And you're certainly welcome to come on this show anytime you like.
Thank you very much.
And folks, that's it for this week's show. I want to thank you, all the listeners and supporters, for joining us on the show today. And again, a big thank you to Ariane and to Adele. We're going to go to No Trace of You by Danielle Morgan. If you haven't had a chance to look at this YouTube video, you definitely want to. And don't forget, arianelev.com is the website. Thank you. God bless you. All right, that was No Trace of You by Danielle Morgan and John Merrigan. You've been tuned to the Michael Calderin Show. If you have an idea or a suggestion or a question or a comment, please be sure to reach out to us on the show page at www.blogtalkradio.com/Michael Calderon Show. Thank you so much for tuning in.